Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach NRL channel. In this video we're going to talk NRL SuperCoach draft. I do have the classic up here on screen, but we will have a look at the draft space in just a minute. But I guess the first thing I wanted to talk about just before we get into the NRL stuff is just a massive thanks to everyone out there. So I was just uploading another video, sort of doing a few videos at the same time here. And saw that I've managed to get up over 500 subscribers, which is pretty insane, particularly given I put zero effort into pumping up the channel. It purely comes from you guys jumping on YouTube, trying to find some SuperCoach or some sort of fantasy sports advice, and for whatever reason you think that what I'm saying is good enough to follow along. Definitely haven't proven to be an expert in the field, but it's all about having a good time with it. So appreciate all the support, and obviously if you've just come to this channel looking for NRL draft content in this case, feel free to add yourself to the number. But without much more ado, I will talk draft. So we do have a couple of draft leagues set up for this year. So we do have just a regular draft, sort of similar to last year. Put 12 teams in, hoping to get a couple more teams on board. A few of the guys from last year are already in, which is great to see. And you will also see that I've accidentally renamed my team the same thing as the league. That was a complete accident, and I cannot work out how to change it. So if you know how to change your draft team name, let me know in the comment section below this video. That would be appreciated. So we have the draft league. We also have a dynasty league. So this is going to be a keeper league. So a few less teams I'm anticipating will join this because it's it's sort of based on going through each year, and then in the next year you'll get the opportunity to keep some of your players. So there's a bit more tactics there about, do you draft the more experienced player that's going to get you the win this year, or maybe the younger player that, might take a few years but will give you a much stronger team in the future. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But for those that are new to draft, I thought the easiest way to show you is to actually go in and do a mock draft. So in terms of joining these leagues, you can see the codes there on the screen. So 614148 for the regular draft league, 961765 for the dynasty league. So you just go to create join league, set up your team name, and this is I think where I accidentally put the draft name in the team name. You can join the league there using that code. Alternatively, I will put the link in the description of this video, so you can just hit it and it should sign you up once you put your team name in. But I guess to show you how draft works, I'm going to join a mock draft. So mock drafts are a great way of practicing, particularly if you're pretty new. We've got a few leagues here kicking off in about 2 minutes at the time of recording. So I might look at this one here. It's very similar to our setup, 12 teams, 17 players. I think I added the flex in, so you will have to draft 18 players. I've got to enter a team name. So I'll just call it something like that. It doesn't really matter because it does go away after a little bit, I'm pretty sure. So you can, with mock drafts, you can pick your spot. Obviously, if someone else has picked the spot, you can't have it. But you may want to practice different strategies, whether, you get number one pick or, you get somewhere in the middle or somewhere at the end. I'll try number 11. I really haven't done a mock draft yet. This is my first one for the year. But the pre-draft is where you can sort of start to work on your tactics. So you can already see it's ordered by, I think it's by last season's average. So James Tedesco is listed at number one with a 94 average. But you can also see there's the average draft position. So if you wanted to sort it by that, you can change the rank by ADP. And you'll see that Nathan Cleary is the most popular. And that's probably a lot of that comes down to positional advantage. Obviously, there's lots of great fullbacks, but Cleary probably is an elite halfback. So I think, probably rightly so, number one. I think I was number 3 last year. Actually, I might have been number 1 in the draft, and I just picked Cleary. I think people were happy they got Tommy Turbo or Tedesco, but positionally speaking, Cleary was where it was at. So the draft's loading up now. If I'm the only person in it, it should be pretty quick as well. So the bots just basically auto select. So it can be a little bit hard to keep up with who they've picked, but generally they'll just go through and pick based on the order. So like James Tedesco, sorry, by average. So James Tedesco will go first, then Tommy, then Nathan, or sorry, Latrell, Dylan, then Nathan. So we'll have a bit of an idea. We should end up around about a Zach Lomax, Val Holmes. If we could get Nico Hines, I think that'd be pretty good. But probably, I guess, given there's so many gun fullbacks going, there is a temptation to try and just grab a Scott Drinkwater, perhaps. You can look at also taking like a Harry Grant. That positional advantage at hooker is pretty nice. Maybe an Angus Crichton at the second row. But then also it is worthwhile having a bit of look down because I'll have pick 11. So say Angus Crichton, say it goes in this order. It'll be Angus Crichton. Then I'd get Adam Fanua-Blake. But then I'm probably getting no chance of these sorts of guys through here. Down to about, what would it be, 33, something like that. So maybe like Gutho, Moses. So, if you really want to lock in one of these guys in between, like a Reece Walsh as your fullback, you may have to reach a little bit to get there. So I've got 1 minute to go. Wish you could get rid of this pre-stuff when you're ready to go, but that's fine. And so you can see that you can follow the team along here too, which is handy. You can also see other teams as well. So, once you get into the later rounds, you may want to look at, someone really needs a halfback, so I'm just going to take a couple of halfbacks, and then you can try and do a bit of a trade with them later, that sort of stuff. So 30 seconds to go. So I guess we'll just wait and see. How long do I have for... That's not going to help. I can't even work it out. I was trying to see how much time. I think it's 30 seconds, so that'll be fine. Like I said, the Autobots will probably go straight away, so it's about to kick off, and I'm on the clock in 9 picks, but then suddenly, so you can see it pops up through here, so it's really quick, like you can't even sort of scroll to keep up. Yeah, and it looks like it is going in order of average, so Scott Drinkwater's just come off the board. So, can you pause? No, I don't think you can pause these ones because they are live. So get a minute. So I can talk a little bit, but you can see already there's the two big centre wings. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fullbacks gone, as well as 2 halfbacks. So I think I'm gonna go with Nico Hines, with the hope that probably Harry Grant will come back around to me. So let's lock Nico in. So if I scroll up, so Angus and Fafita have gone. So could Harry Grant, or the other one is Isaiah Yeo, probably, number 1 in his position as well. But I think there's lots of other second rowers, so I will go Harry Grant. So I guess another option was to go Reece Walsh. That would sort of be like the last of the the big fullbacks, I suppose. But I think Ryan Pappenhausen may be lurking fairly deep. We might be able to get him as well. So lots of players jumping off the board. So I guess just quickly trying to catch up. Yeah, so you can see it's pretty much goes in order. So you can sort of predict with the auto draft what it's going to do. It's not as reliable as a face to face type draft. But just looking at the options here, can Dylan Brown would be one of the first ones to go, but so Paps is not too far down, so we have to make a bit of a choice. But dual position players like Mitch Barnett are super handy to have. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab him. I'll plonk him in my front row for now. And then we'll see what we can get next. So Dylan Brown's still on the board. Yep, so CNK as a fullback's gone. Damien Cook. So Dylan Brown having the dual position is going to be handy as well. Matt Burton would be nice at 5'8". If we're happy to just lock in an out and out 5'8". The other one is, Pappenhausen's probably the last of those big fullbacks, but I think there is another option or two that we can go. So I'm going to go Dylan Brown just for the flexibility. Lock him in as my 5'8". So after 4 rounds, I've gone Harry Grant, Mitch Barnett, Nico Hines, Dylan Brown. So pretty happy with how it's gone so far. So the Hammer, I thought he was going to be around a bit longer, but he's gone. Well, maybe I will get back around to Pappenhausen. So 63 average. I should have left it sorted by average because that's what the computer does. So it looks like there's a couple of nice options. Paps is obviously the one we want to do now, but Terrell May in the front row, having Barnett and May in my front row is pretty juicy. Connor Watson would be good as well. Dual position option is always nice. Someone like a Cam Murray would be a bit more of a bargain in a face like a human draft, just because I think people will fade him with his injury. But I'm running out of time, so I'll select Paps at fullback. And a couple of picks will go through. So Dylan Lucas gone, Appy Coruscant gone, not upset. So, I guess, I do think there's quite a lot of value in the second row this year. So I think I'm going to go Terrell May and just lock down my front row. So basically I've got my front row and my spine sorted. If we start having a look at some of the other teams and how they're situated, so you can see bot 6, for example, has got 3/4 of a spine, got a couple of the centre wings sorted. I'll just pick a couple at random, I won't have that much time. So like bot 12's gone big in the second row, which is a different approach, I suppose. So see, I forgot about someone like Tino, dual position. And because he's cheap and his average is low, he does sit down the ranks a fair bit. But yeah, he could be a good one to have as well in the second row. Yeah, I mean, I really just need second rowers and centre wings, and he seems like the best available, so I'm going to put him in the second row. Not disappointed with that at all. Yeah, so Dream Buller was one I was looking at as a bit of a later round, so round 8, I guess, is a good spot for him. Where's my team? Mock drafters, but I got Paps, so I'm not upset about that. Probably want to start looking at centre wing. So Bradman Best, Blaze Talangi, both interesting options. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, especially if he's playing fullback, he represents pretty good value at this point. And then Campbell Graham and those sorts of guys are there. So, I'm going to go Roger. Got him in my current classic team. Just again, if he plays fullback, he offers really nice value at the price and the position. So basically, got two of them in the team, which is handy. All right, and so we're back. So we're looking at a couple of front rows there, but Campbell Graham's nice in the centre wing. Josh Curran, again, the dual position's pretty handy. I can't think of anyone that jumps out of the ground in this sort of price range. Maybe a Sean Bloor, you know, expected that a year further in, Cam Munster's a bit fitter. He could go up. So it's 22 spots. I don't know if he'll come around. So I might have to go in early. So uh, I'm thinking I'll take Curran as a second rower. Flexibility again is pretty nice. Um, Campbell Graham's still available. It's tempting too. K Weeks is a handy one as well. He probably plays fullback, which is nice, and then also covers 5'8". And if you've got a league like this where you've only got 4 bench spots, having that flexibility is really helpful. So I think I might actually go Weeks. I'll put him at fullback. It doesn't matter because he's going on the bench. Now we wait for another bunch of picks. So maybe a lot of these teams are full with centre wings because there's a few staying on the board like Graham, Stephen Crichton. If I could get him, he'd be pretty nice in the. What are we up to? 11th round. Looks like we are going to get him. Obviously, you could go with Greg Marzu as well. Um, I guess because it's based on average, I think Campbell Graham will still be there at the end. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go with Stephen Crichton in my centre wing. So what I still need? Still need a second rower for sure, and a couple of centre wings. And I'm back, so um, I guess Greg Marzu would be good. Blake Brayley would be pretty handy as a bench hooker, but I think there might still be some options there. So I'll go Greg Marzu. Put him in as my centre wing. So you can see the likes of a Luke Metcalf, probably nice value if you need a 5'8" still in your team at this point. Probably will go a bit higher in terms of human drafts. So we're back. So you can see like the likes of Sam Stonetree getting selected based on average. It's not probably accurate. um, so Jack Whiten, flexibility is nice. Iongi's drafting about this low, which is interesting. Horsburgh, just keep going front rowers in the second row. The one Natawasi, perhaps. I've already got a backup fullback, so might be able to let Iongi slide. But obviously, in a keeper league, you would look at Iongi quite favourably. But I'm going to go with my boy Jarrell Skelton in the centre wing. It's reaching a bit, but I don't care. I want him, so I will take him at that point. And you can see it came back. I only missed out on Carl Pereira, Sean Lane. So it was definitely a reach for Skelton. Um, but just thinking, what do we still need some dual position. So maybe someone like a Sandon Smith, halfback hooker. That is some really nice coverage. Let's get him on our bench. And then we'll see what's available. Might start filtering out second rowers. Alright, so yeah, so we still need one second rower on field. We've probably got enough coverage with our front row, so we could even get a second row and maybe like a centre wing on the bench. We've got our spine covered on the bench. So in terms of second rowers, you still got Corey Horsburgh, Tom Gilbert. Um, I guess once he's fit and firing, he probably is worth a shout. So let's put Tommy Gilbert in, and then we'll get another one around real quick. And so unless there's like an option that jumps out of the ground, um, you probably want to start looking at some more dual position guys for your bench. So DPP only. So this gives us the likes of Horsburgh. So we've done that. We're probably looking more so like Talakai, Ben Travojevic, and probably the other one in this area is Jack Bird. So, if he gets that nice role playing lock, I think, you play Bird, but we'll put him in. And so, yeah, so now basically we've got essentially all bases covered on our bench because obviously Jack Bird could fit in the second row. Tino could slide up front or Curran. So we're pretty well set there. So might just literally be best available finish. It looks like Campbell Graham's disappeared. Someone actually picked him. And looks like Iongi's still there, so let's just grab him just for fun. And no more picks in the draft. It's all done. So you can see as well, you get the pick history, so you can go through and see, the order that you picked, and obviously everyone else too. So showing the last few picks there. The likes of Brandon Smith, Jaden Brayley going pretty late in the piece. But in terms of my team, it's not too bad. From 11, you're not going to get, those elite fullbacks. So getting someone like a Pappenhausen's pretty nice. Locking down the halves like Hines, Brown, and Harry Grant. So the spine, I should have said. Pretty happy with the spine. The forward pack, I'm pretty happy with. Obviously, an elite second row would have been nice, but I guess Barnett technically is. Like, you could put Barnett in the second row. May and Tina up front's good. Centre wings, obviously, again, none of the high elite options there, but RTS if he gets the job at fullback. Marzu and Skelton are those, tackle breaking beasts that you love to have. Stephen Crichton. Being a Bulldogs fan, it's nice to have a bit of the Bulldogs action in there. And then the bench obviously covers all the positions, so we don't have to necessarily trade and tap the waiver wire too often. And then Iongi is a nice little luxury piece at the end. So that's how the draft works. Obviously, it takes a bit longer when there's actual humans. A lot of us do take up to a minute for our picks. But then towards the end, you can sort of speed run it a bit. There is the auto pick option. I didn't really use that, to be honest, but I could have. So that's always an option too. Once you've got your base in, you don't really care about what scrubs you get on the bench. You just auto pick and it does the job. But we'll wrap the video up there now that we've done a mock draft. You can see what it looks like. Again, those two leagues we've got the regular draft league as well as the dynasty league. I'll put the invite codes in the description below this video if you wanted to join, or you can just create join league and add in those codes that you see on screen. But other than that, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the NRL content or the draft content in particular. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.